So thanks very much to James and Fastamai. Welcome, everyone. I know that the room has, a little bit sparser than maybe it was before, but I really hope that the people who are here can go away and tell the story of Biosphere, because actually it's the thing that underpins everything we're doing, and hopefully I'll have the opportunity to talk through that a little bit with you today. So I just wanted to start with a little bit of background around actually UNESCO and biosphere reserves. They're not just about nature conservation, and that's a really key takeaway. They were formed at the end of World War II, UNESCO was formed at the end of World War II and focused on achieving peace by way of collaboration through education, science, and culture. It really is so much more than just nature, although that is critical. The Isle of Man Biosphere Reserve was designated in 2016 and is now one of 759 biosphere reserves worldwide, but we are still the only whole nation biosphere reserve in the world, something we should be absolutely very proud of. Although we may be small, as part of the global network, we can do what we do best, punching far above our weight. We can be a living laboratory, innovating new ways to live and develop sustainably, creating frameworks and initiatives which can be implemented by other biosphere reserves and scaled up globally. Within the global biosphere, the thin layer which supports all of life on Earth, each of the 759 biosphere reserves are different, with unique contexts, needs, and challenges, but all of them are learning places for sustainable development with three common functions: conservation of both biological and cultural diversity, sustainable development, creating vibrant and healthy lives for all, balancing the needs of humans and the rest of nature, and learning and inspiration, underpinning the two other functions with research and education to guide conservation and development. All biosphere reserves conduct a periodic review every 10 years to assess progress and performance, and we're due to submit that in September 2026, and so we've just really been at the start of that process. So biosphere reserves are designed in such a way to strategically address the 17 UN Sustainable Development Goals, often represented by the grid you see on the screen, or the wheel in the bottom corner. But there's another way of thinking, and the 17 SDGs can be grouped by whether they relate directly to ecology, the biosphere, society, or the economy. And while they're all equally important, this alternative wedding cake, we love wedding cakes on the Isle of Man, this is slightly more colourful than our Tynwald one, represents the goals that illustrate that a healthy biosphere is absolutely fundamental to a healthy society, which in turn is fundamental to a healthy economy. True economic success and the success of local businesses can only be achieved when the environment and society are also thriving. Integrating biosphere values into the decisions we make, whether government, businesses, or the wider community, can help us achieve a secure, vibrant, and sustainable future for all. Creating a vibrant and healthy future for all necessitates developing our economy in a sustainable way, however you interpret that word, and requires biosphere thinking, a holistic approach which considers and nurtures each of the other 5 E's of the Biosphere Isle of Man vision and strategy. A secure, vibrant, and sustainable economy is reliant on each of these other 5 E's: education, enjoyment, environment, and engagement, with each making a significant contribution to a thriving and sustainable economy. Conveniently, the 5 E's also align really well with the 5 interrelated priorities of the Island Plan. So I'm going to look at a little more detail at each of the E's, not economy, because actually the 4 others underpin everything we're talking about here today, and I hope that I'll be able to demonstrate that. So we'll start with education. What does it look like to consider education as part of a sustainable economy? And we've heard some of that from the Skills Board. Fostering a sustainability-driven community. Instilling biosphere values and sustainability throughout education creates a workforce who will be key to ensuring we have a thriving green and blue economy, where all jobs are focused on sustainability, whatever the sector, industry, or level that they're at. Future-focused skills development. Some of the jobs our young people, and some of us, for a little bit longer maybe, for me, will do, don't even exist yet. We need to look ahead to developing sectors and to skills which will be needed in the future, and to give people tools to adapt and change careers throughout their working lives. Lifelong learning for all, Continued education and training ensures that the workforce remains resilient to changes, boosting employment, innovation and business, and ensuring our community and economy can adapt and develop. Looking at enjoyment, this does of course include leisure and recreation, but also wider health and well-being. Great quality of life for all in itself requires this holistic biosphere thinking, ensuring the infrastructure is in place for people to live healthy, active lives for as long as possible, making sure that quality, sustainable housing is available and affordable for everyone, nurturing a community of businesses which provide jobs that align with people's values, not to mention caring for our island and sea, of course. Making sure our island is a fantastic place to live is not only great for our existing island community and encouraging people to stay here, but also attract new residents to expand that community. Thriving local businesses, creating conditions for leisure, hospitality, food and drink businesses to thrive, as well as regenerative agriculture and sustainable fisheries, and for those businesses to align with the sustainable values which employees are looking for. And biosphere tourism. We're showcasing this great island of ours as a sustainable biosphere destination with unique culture and heritage, a thriving environment, incredible local food and drink, and something truly for everyone. We move on to environment. The thing that most people probably analogize as biosphere, but actually it's one of those key strands that underpins everything else we do. So, an innovative, nature-friendly nation. We've long been a small island which achieves big things in terms of innovation and research, including in marine research and understanding our seas, but also in our nature-friendly farming community. As a whole nation biosphere reserve, we have the ability to be a world leader, the living island laboratory, a test bed for research, conservation, and restoration, which can be shared with other islands and biosphere reserves. Space for the rest of nature to thrive in our core, care, and sustainable development areas. Giving space for the rest of nature is key to those healthy, fulfilling lives, cleaning our air and water, pollinating crops and nourishing soil, sustaining fisheries, absorbing carbon, and allowing us space to relax and enjoy. All biosphere reserves are zoned into 3 kinds of areas: core areas, which are well protected, care areas, which provide a buffer area of protection to those, and sustainable development areas, our towns and cities where we live. Our core areas, our ASSIs and marine nature reserves, are obviously dedicated to the rest of nature, but considering nature in our urban areas and in any developments brings us closer to it. A sustainable green and blue economy, creating a culture where businesses, government, and other organizations consider sustainability and the rest of nature in their decision-making, and where biosphere thinking is instilled throughout life, will create a thriving, diverse economy that we need for a sustainable future. Perhaps we could even see nature taking a seat at boardroom tables. Engagement with our biosphere values and instilling that holistic biosphere thinking is how our businesses and wider community will create this sustainable future and economy. Working together for a sustainable future, no one person or organization can create this future. Every person, every business, every organization has their part to play. We're all a part of our interconnected biosphere, and we're all inseparable from it. Networks for learning. Our biosphere partners of 377 businesses and organizations from across sectors and disciplines are already doing their part and living these values. Whether taking small steps or giant strides, we're making progress. We're working to nurture that network, sharing knowledge and learning with each other, and boosting progress towards true sustainability. A true biosphere nation. Through this collaboration and knowledge sharing, and through instilling biosphere values throughout people's lives, we can be the true biosphere nation that we aspire to be. So we're focused on integrated biosphere thinking into our decisions as actions, as government, businesses, individuals, and working together as an island community. This will help us create the thriving and sustainable future we want to see, and to be a world-leading hub for innovation and learning, which is an exemplar for other biosphere reserves and island nations. As well as ongoing projects including the annual Biosphere Awards and Young Nature Champion, and the myriad initiatives of our 377 partners across the island, we have some key priorities in the next 2 to 3 years. The main focus will be the periodic review. Our 10-year review will be submitted 2 years from now, and the process has already begun. We'll be aiming to involve as many people as possible from across different organisations and businesses, creating a participatory dialogue which will also inform our management plan for the 10 years beyond 2026. We're in a strong position, but we must certainly not be complacent about this. We also have a new Biosphere Isle of Man board. Following a review of governance of Biosphere Isle of Man that was conducted through the Stakeholder Partnership Group, a new board is being formed to give oversight that's independent of government. Our Biosphere Reserve status belongs to us all, and this board will provide guidance to the delivery team throughout the periodic review process and beyond. A change of governance so close to the periodic review is not done lightly. This move will put us in a stronger position to retain our Biosphere Reserve status and to have an even stronger biosphere long into the future. Developing the partner network. I've already touched on this, but it really is a priority for us. Our 377 partners are living and breathing biosphere values, and we recognise the untapped potential of the network that currently exists and future partners. Some of you may well be in this room, and if you haven't looked into becoming a Biosphere partner, please do come and speak to either myself or Rachel or Jackie, who you'll see in the panel afterwards, and we'd be delighted to share more information with you about how you can get involved. And build youth engagement. We have an incredible youth representative in Rachel Smith, who's creating a network of young people who are passionate about our island and taking action to create the sustainable future that they want to see. We can and should be incredibly proud of our Biosphere Reserve status. Our biosphere values and the 5 E's guide us to the fact that our strong, diverse economy can only be strong and diverse if it's also sustainable. Guramayu.